If you put water droplets on fumed silica, it makes the water droplets hydrophobic. You can see that this hydrophobic drop in the middle won't mix with the regular water around it. Even if I completely surround it with water, you can see that it still won't mix and it just stays on top. So I've created hydrophobic water. If I get a bunch of the droplets together, they won't mix with each other. They act like little marbles of water, especially the smaller you get them. The smaller you get them, the harder it is to get them to combine. With that being the case, if I put water and fumed silica in a blender and then mix it up, then I can create something called dry water. Dry water is an air-water emulsion that acts partially like a fluid and partially like a powder. You can see how it's kind of fluid-like and kind of powder-like. But if I look at it under the microscope, you can see that it actually is liquid here, just surrounded by the fumed silica. Is a hydrophobic knife a perfect murder weapon? Let's test it out. Okay, so first let's try just dipping a regular knife in the blood. So you can see it coats it really easily. But now let's try our super hydrophobic knife. Look at that. So you can see the difference here. I was using this beef's blood here, so I want to try something a little more realistic and see if we get the same results. So I'm just going to prick my finger and use my own blood and see if we can actually see a difference. Okay, let's dip the hydrophobic knife in the blood. Okay, let's check it under the microscope and see if we can see any blood on it. So forget about seeing red blood cells, we can actually see giant splotches of blood. Look at that, busted. We're well aware that when things are hydrophobic, it repels water. But the thing that we sometimes forget is because it repels water, that means that it has a layer of air in between it. So that got me thinking, what if I made a hydrophobic straw? Would I actually be able to suck up water with it? Let's see what happens when we drop water through our regular straw here. So it's about what you'd expect here. Kind of just fills up the straw and dribbles out the end. Now let's check our super hydrophobic straw. Whoa! You see the drop shoot out of it? Now let's see what happens if I try to plug up one end of it. It won't stay in the tube. Look at that. So what happens if I try to suck through it now? So if I leave the straw submerged, I can suck it up just fine. But if while I'm sucking, I lift the straw out of the water just falls out of the straw.